Good morning, good morning. Today we're going to be taking a look at XRP's price action, XRP dominance over Bitcoin, and the Sigma coin. So basically I decided to clean up just so you can see the most simplistic view of what we're looking at here on this chart. And long story short, we have a, looks like a actual 5-wave move to the upside has finally completed. So I've readjusted the count, and it was this section right here that was causing a lot of confusion for me in referencing because of this overlay chop area that we ended up having. So we basically had wave 1, wave 2, which didn't, on the market cap chart, did not set this lower low. Wave 3, wave 4 comes back down for this completion of an ABC. This guy right here we're going to interpolate as wave 1 for a 5-wave move up rather than just an ABC correction. This is definitely an ABC for a wave 2. Then you have a breakout for wave 3, wave 4, which ends up crossing over wave 1, which is why I was not thinking that this was an impulsive move. And then finally a completion of a 5-wave move to the upside. So giving you that larger 5-wave moves that we're looking for. So now in this particular area here, when we're looking for this section kind of wrapping up, there's a few ways to kind of look at what price action we're going to be expecting here. So we have the trend-based fib tool, where if this is in fact the completion of wave 1, and this is a very large flat, which based off the time and the magnitude, I'm going to think that we're leaning more towards this 5-wave move. This completion though should wrap up here pretty soon, because we have a measured move for an equal leg of this whole range, again with chop in the middle, which makes me think it's corrective anyway, ultimately giving us a $2.99 range that we can probably squeeze, and then we'll roll over. Now, good news is if this is in fact either the completion of the 5-wave move up, we've now just got to go in and do our wave 2. So here's an example of how this would look. So here is our 5-wave move to the upside, and you'll notice that we had our 5-wave move to the upside. Then with a lot of crossover chop that ultimately happened here back in April of 25. Then we had to do a large ABC correction. So this is what we've been aiming for, which is this wave 2, thinking we were wrapping it up in this region with a flat. We ended up squeezing, and now we're just getting ready to go back into our wave 2. So regardless, a wave 2 scenario should manifest here. That gives us the pullback into supply to back test these regions. And then once that's done, we can actually then be officially ready to go for the next leg up. So when we measure this fib and we go off of this low right here, we're going to ignore this one just because of what we have. And let's just say that was the top. Basically an expected move back down into this 275 to 278 region wouldn't be out of line. And this could take a while for this to kind of play out over the next week or so, as we wait for the Fed meeting to come in to give us the rate cut and move the markets to the upside. So we're looking back still, regardless, in both scenarios, a back test to this region. And this would line up with our liquidity map. So we've got a lot of late longs that have all shown up to the party here. We've swept the late shorts here on the 3-day. And as you can see, we've come in and taken all of the supply, but yet there's all of this down here that still has built up at 283. And this is at 277. So if we go back to our expectations here, 277, 280, right in this region would be where I would expect us to pull back down to, hitting some supply, and ultimately breaking down. Maybe we squeeze a little bit higher and we get, a fib that goes there. So anyway, that's kind of how I'm looking at the market. So I think this is a more bullish outcome with us actually having the 5 waves to the upside now. This completion of this last leg ultimately giving us a 5-wave move itself, even though there's cross, that gets us up to that level, and we can actually start seeing this breakout happen. We just have to do one correction to get out of here, and then that should be the end before we head out fully. So good news is we've been expecting to flip our bias to long. We're just waiting to finish this move up. I did exit spot right about here. So, this disheartening to see it obviously go higher, but if we do come back in, when we come back in to do a correction here, because nothing can go back up forever, when this correction ends up playing, then I should be able to re-enter at a savings and then be long with the whole position. So worst case, I'll just chase if we keep seeing levels being broken above. So, but this supply right here is going to be a big resistance area that we have to go back into and back test this region one more time for support. So, and then jumping over to Sigma Coin, we've got green shoots, everybody. So with a with the narrative of Schwartz shifting his NFT to a meme coin NFT, where he actually added that, we're now seeing that we had a bounce right off of the 886 that everybody must have been waiting for on its measured move. Our 3-day stotch has now flipped positive. That's what you want to see. So we've done our little double tap that Sigma Coin likes to do. RSI is now at 41 down here, so we now have that actually playing out. And this is super bullish with the overall market. So if we are getting done with these corrections for XRP, it's very, very soon. And I expect a little breakout pullback, which is what we're expecting for XRP. We're just kind of one more pullback. Then it should be full send mode. And Sigma will benefit from that narrative. And we're going to see now a return from yesterday. It was 700 plus. Now we're at 640% to get to a return to the prior all-time high with a massive 7-month consolidation since December, 9-month consolidation bull flag that has formed for a wave 2, ready to pop off into our wave 3. So getting ready for it all. I expect a ton of liquidity to manifest and this price action to move up, and these RSIs look absolutely bullish. So all right, so we'll just continue to monitor this, but I have changed my bias that this is now a completion of, rather than a flat, which was in the breakdown, we should have a completion of a 5-wave, an ABC now, heading downward, and I just needed to get back to at or below that level for 288, 290. I think it was 289 actually. Yes, that's where I got out. So 289, we get it back down here. I can re-long with you guys, and we'll be riding this thing to the moon. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll check in tomorrow.